Good evening, everybody. It's Donnie B.GotDaBeats. We live on 2 Flu West. You already know what time it is when you see them planes fly. I'm here. I'm joined with my brother Nicholas Baker. What's going on with you, Nick?
What's happening, bro? All is good.
Everything good up there?
You know, just trying to stay out of the heat in the Bay, man. Hoping these fires don't amp up no more.
Oh, amen to that. Well, you stay fireproof, brother. Stay fireproof.
trying to.
Look, you know how I know my friends are fresh, man. They literally have conglomerates built around the word fresh. You know what I mean? Not everybody can say that. You know what I mean? But my brothers are the dopest and the freshest that there is, which leads me to today's guest. This is my big bro. This is our big bro. It's been over 20 years that we've known this man. Know this man, like, and get him up on the phone. Like, he knows the family. He knows the family of both of us. We all collab. We all tight knit group. This brother is the founder and CEO of Military Fresh Network and MFN consultant. One of the dopest individuals I've ever come across. I look up to him. It's such a high regard. It's ridiculous. You know what I mean? But without further ado, everybody say what's up to Jimmy Cox. What's going on, Jimmy? How you doing, brother?
What's up? It's a pleasure to see you guys. You know, hey, everything is good, man. But I appreciate it. I really do. I appreciate it.
Indeed. We already got Sonny in the chat. What's up, Sonny? How you doing?
Sonny.
Man, that's a Starbucks girl. Okay, I love it. Yeah. Donnie will get you with the intro, man. He like Steve Harvey with the intro. He bring you in. He bring you into the show. It is not a game.
What's up?
Indeed. So you know, Jimmy, I got to support the I had to reach into the closet to grab this, man.
Yeah, I had to get the archives. I was gonna wear a shirt, but I was like, I always wear one every time I'm on, though. So just want to have that conversation. But I appreciate it. Make America fresh again.
Indeed,
that's what it is.
But look, one thing I always say is we don't do no shucking, no jiving. We get right to it. But I do want to tell everybody, man, get your pen and paper out. Get you like a crayon, a pen, something, because I know it's going to be some jewels dropped today. So I want to make sure you'll be able to catch them. Anyway,
agreed.
Getting right to the first question: who is Jimmy Cox?
Yes. All right. So Jimmy Cox, founder, CEO of the Military Fresh Network, Army retired veteran of 23 years. Still work for the Department of the Army as a civilian for the last 11 years. So that's about almost 33 years total of Army service. So going on 34. But anyway, that's kind of about who I am as a person. Born and raised in Rochester, New York. Joined the Army in 1987, and still rocking and rolling here in 2021. So there we are.
My man. Cool. All right. So my next question was going to be tell us a little bit about your background. But you kind of already did that, so I'm gonna skip to the question after that. We're gonna kind of go from the beginning and then work our way up to where we at now. We're gonna go and understand the man behind the mission. That's what we're gonna do. So, what lessons do you remember about growing up in Rochester, New York? What did you take from growing up in Rochester?
One thing I could say, the first thing that comes to mind is don't trust anyone. And that's just the way it is. Like, everybody was on the come up, and once you got took a few times as a young kid, you just know, like, hey, listen, don't just make sure you pay attention to your surroundings. That's one of the things that I learned, coming up from Rochester, New York. But also, hey, just continue to work hard, because that's the only way that you were gonna get out of there. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what I remember and can take from growing up in Rochester, the Rock, as they should say.
Yeah. Nah, you know what? You said that statement, like, don't trust anyone. Like, I think it's a heavy statement. Like, because if you think about it, if you start with that kind of mind frame and like always observant and looking at things, it makes you know that if you do trust someone, or if you do put that kind of faith in someone, like, they had to do something to earn it. Like, they had to really walk through some steps, because your criteria for trust is going to be that much heavier. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I think that's a hell of a lesson to take from the beginning, to be like, nah, like, everybody ain't to be trusted, because that's just what it is.
Yeah. So that's one of the things that sticks with me, from Rochester, and hard work. So,
Yes, yes. All right. So moving on. When did you know that the U.S. Army was for you, and what was it that made it make sense for you?
so that decision, I joined the Army in '87. So, as you all know, anywhere in the inner city, not even just a New York thing, from Chicago, Detroit, anywhere, like after '85, it got really bad in the drug and the crack era, and that's where the whole trust thing came from. So, coming up around that time and seeing the things that I saw at such a young age, I got friends that are teenagers with me that are getting hit with 25 to life, at 16, 17, and you're just in that environment. So you were thinking, like, what's the best way for me to, to get out of there? And at that time, and a lot of people could relate to that, because you at that age, you just can't pick up and move on your own. We don't have the jobs, we don't have transportation, we don't even have a vehicle yet, let alone to just pick up and move to another state and start over somewhere. So that was my way. I wanted to go to college, but back then, if my dad was parking cars and my mom was driving a school bus for disabled children, and the funding for schooling in college wasn't there. And even at that time, even if they did have the money for schooling, I don't even think my mind was there to go to college right away after high school, just because of growing up the way that I did, and hanging out with the people that I did, and it just wasn't like it was a bad thing to be a nerd. It was a bad thing to speak proper English. So at that time, I said, I took the test for the Marines, right? And so I was gonna join the Marines, but then I was thinking about, like, which was the best for me. So I ended up switching over and going to the Army. So that's kind of what did it. I left home on 31 August 1987, and I've been gone ever since. So that's kind of where it started.
That's awesome. Let me ask you.
Go ahead.
Let me ask you this, Jimmy. And excuse the question. If obviously if it's a question that you don't want to answer, feel free to say. But I know, coming in that era, that time period, right, which is kind of what early Reagan administration, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then did you experience? Because I know that there was a great deal of issues with, blacks joining the military after Vietnam, and serving and dealing with that, and it was always almost kind of like this rough malaise that was over top of joining the military if you're black. Don't fight the white man's army, or whatever, so forth. So did you encounter that when you first enrolled in '87? Or
No, you know what? When I came in '87, most of the kids that were around me and my platoon or whatever from basic training, we were all just trying to figure it out, right? We were from all over, and at that time, when you're that low ranking, you really don't get to see or get to be around any senior ranking officers or people that may think differently. So you're really kind of like blind to that, because if you're only dealing with your other same rank and age, people as you. So another PFC, another specialist, someone from Texas, someone from somewhere else, like that was more subdued. I really didn't see the discord or the disagreement of serving in the Army until later when I was 26 and I was a staff sergeant and I became an Army recruiter in Bridgeport, Connecticut. And then when you're in the inner city, back in the inner city, Bridgeport, Connecticut was like 30 minutes from the Bronx, New York. That's when you started to hear, why do you serve your country? The Army's no place for, a black man. And why do you, the whole baby killer, the whole thing like that. I didn't really see that until I was like 26 and a staff sergeant and came back out to a inner city that wasn't around an Army installation that I really started hearing and seeing things like that. But I didn't hear it while I was in.
And so now that like you said, at 26, you've already kind of experienced, this side of it. Obviously, the side of, a lot of people don't experience because they're not in, they didn't serve. How did that strike you when you heard that rhetoric coming back at 26? Like, was it more of like a uneducated type of deal, you think, or?
Yeah, it's twofold. It's being uneducated, and ignorant. Ignorant is not knowing to the fact. You have to actually do it yourself. But at that time, it's like, okay, I know what the Army has done for me, even to this day. I would do it all over again because I know what the Army has done for me,
right.
To this day. But the serving, you still hear it. People don't understand it. But there's a lot of people of color in all different backgrounds and races and ethnicities that serve in the military. But it's just everyone's going to agree to disagree, and no one's ever going to be on the same page about. It could be the military. It could be, do you like this or that? It's still going to be a disconnect between humans. You know what I mean? So you never can win no matter what. So you just do what works best for you.
Understood.
So you brought up being a recruiter. That made me think, like, one, when you were first going in, is there someone that like said something to you that also made it click a little bit? Is there a recruiter or someone that you can think of or pinpoint that was like, they said that one little chunk that also gave me a little bit of a nudge to be like, yeah, this is it?
Nah, I went and approached the recruiter. And my recruiter was Sergeant First Class Mark Lane. I remember him to this day, but I just knew my way out, I need to join the military. I need to join the military. I found the recruiter and asked him, what do I have to do? And then it just went from there. But it wasn't nothing that I saw that nobody had to say to me. I just knew that I wanted to get in, get a job skill, get money for college, and get out. I was going to do 3 years and get out. And I ended up doing 23 years and still working for the Army as a civilian. So
that's dope. Hey, you heard that.
Money
I told
well
y'all,
spent.
take notes. Don't wait. Don't wait. If you know what you need to do, go get it.
yes,
Don't wait. Cool. So in retrospect, what have been some of the greatest tools that the U.S. Army has equipped you with to be who you are today?
So there's a few. And of course, the Army has its Army values, leadership, duty, respect, self-service, personal courage, honor, integrity. I said it, I mixed it up, but those are all of them. But I had those things prior to coming in. I think it just honed it even more because coming up from, when people say, you come up from the inner city and, street code and honor, you kind of grow up real fast with that, especially because there was a term called a man child. You know what I mean? Where you grew up as a kid, but you grew up quick, right? You weren't at home all day on the TV or playing video games. When you went outside and you didn't come back, you get out the house, go outside, and don't come back till the street lights come on.
Right.
So within those times when your parents are at work or whatever, and you're out there, man, you learn quick. And then you got, you know, older teenagers and young adults, men that you're hanging with, and you end up learning really quick. So I'm saying all that to say, you know, the Army values, right? And then also what I could say that I did get from the Army is to never quit. That's one thing that I could say I got from the Army. Like, you don't quit in the Army. Like, that's warrior ethos number one. I will never accept defeat, right?
Yeah.
So that's one thing that is honed into me, and I'm there. It's with me forever. And also, I would say it really taught me time management. Right? You don't show up late.
Yeah.
Show up late. There's no excuse for showing up late. You better be there 10 minutes prior.
Yeah.
So I say I got that from the military and the Army as well.
Got it. So I got one more question, kind of centered around the Army, and then we're gonna hop into the MFN. But going back to like being a recruiter, and you talked about yourself being the go-getter. Like, you knew what you wanted, you approached the recruiter. As a recruiter, were there certain things you looked for in people? Did you ever, as a recruiter, feel like, this probably ain't for you? Like, did you have those conversations, or was it just like, you know, kind of who flowed in and you moved around and saw people? Like, what was kind of some criteria that you did in that job?
So that's a good question. So, you know, there wasn't any criteria, because you'll end up having like those conscious biases. You know what I mean? Like, I only look for people that look like they can relate to me. You know what I mean? So I went after everybody.
Okay.
Everybody. Like, if you were a human breathing individual and you look like you could do some push-ups, run, and you could pass the ASVAB, I'm gonna talk to you. Where was there ever a time where I said this isn't for you? Yes, all the time. Because I wasn't about to beg nobody to join the Army. And if they want to go and say that, you know, whatever, I just give them all the benefits that the Army can provide for them. Whether it's paying off your school loans, your college loans, and I don't care if you got a freaking bachelor's degree or whatever. There's something for you to do in the Army. Whether it's paying off, so it's not like you're better than or you're better than me, so it's not for you because it's only for people like me and that, whatever. I'm like, look, if you can pass the ASVAB and the physical fitness test, and you're smart enough, anybody can be in the Army. So I only said it's not for you. I'm like, well, maybe it's not for you, and I'm not gonna beg you to join. So,
Right.
yeah.
Makes sense. All right, so segueing into the creation of the Military Fresh Network. I know a good bit about this story. Donnie knows a lot about this story, but we want to talk about it, man. Let's talk about the creation of the Military Fresh Network and how it started and how you got that vision.
All right, so I want to start that answer with this, and this is for everyone. I know this is Two Flew West. This is Donnie and Devin's show, but a lot of people don't know that Donnie and Devin, we go back as far as 21 years since 2000. They are both a part of the Military Fresh Network, and they play behind the scenes. They're on the production team. You got Donnie B.GotDaBeats right there, and you got Nicholas Baker right there, who are both producers and musicians, extraordinaire. Every single production that you see on the Military Fresh Network, when you see a real cool video, when you hear the music in the background, it's all produced by my man right there and this team right here. Amazing artists. They're both artists, and they are part of the Military Fresh Network and behind the scenes. And they were there since the first conversation ever of what was going to be in my kitchen almost 6 years ago. So I just want to say that I really appreciate you both. I appreciate everything that you do for the team. And Donnie, you've been working overnight trying to edit, things for this and that for the anniversary. So hey, your hard work, man, and your dedication doesn't go unnoticed, man. So I just want to say thank you to both of y'all publicly.
No problem. It was an honor, man. It's still an honor, man. Like I said, you already know, man. We endorse you, man. We back you, man. So 21 years.
Yeah, man.
We back so fresh.
Yeah. Yes. All right. So the creation of the Military Fresh Network, and that's always a good conversation. And people will ask, like, how did that come about? And the biggest thing is people. It is kind of unorthodox, and it is kind of it isn't kind of. It's disruptive, right? Because you disrupt the marketplace because people never thought of or traditionally thought to associate the word fresh with our military, right? And then it kind of goes back to everything that you said prior to my background coming up in Rochester. Not quick to judge. I mean, not quick to judge, trust people. But so those things coming up with that, and then not being able to explain, or not for people not being able to understand, like you said, the military is no place for an African American male or what have you. You hear it all. You know what I mean? So I wanted to create something to show different. To kind of blend in my recruiting years and not only prove to the outside looking in that you got people of all backgrounds and everything to serve, and wow, and fresh doesn't mean what you look like. Fresh is a state of mind, right? That's what it's about. So there's a lot of people that serve that never had a platform to tell their stories. Like, you got a lot of people in the military that are musicians, right? That are singers, songwriters, poets, entrepreneurs, you name it. But they never had a platform to highlight their skills other than serving, right? And then when you look at all the other military-esque or veteran, platforms out there, or communities or whatever, you start really peeling back the onion and looking into those things, and you really don't see anything for like the black and brown community of veterans. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So although this wasn't for black and brown, right? It's multicultural led, right? Yeah, it's black and brown people leading it, but it's for everybody, and we don't discriminate based on your background or what where you're from or what you look like. You follow me on that one?
Of course.
Yep.
So look around. Look for veteran this, veteran that, veteran this, veteran that. You start looking around and everybody looks the same, right? So I want to create something that talk to everyone, and that's where the Military Fresh Network came from.
Yeah, no, like it's crazy because just thinking about that first conversation over, like, what Buffalo Wild Wings with every sauce that they make,
Yeah,
some other sauces, and just
it's
talking.
more sauce than chicken.
Yeah, and just hearing your vision and like how clearly you had it then, you know what I mean, and just talking about where you could see it going, and then to see it manifest how it has, so quickly. Like, honestly, I mean, it's what, 5-6 years now, and like the growth is just astronomical to me. You know what I mean? Just again to be able to say, like, seeing it from the beginning and how it grew and how it took on and how it's blossomed into so many things. It's just, it's phenomenal.
Appreciate it.
It's been great to watch.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So there's one more part I want to add to that, and I want to stick to our positioning statement, and I don't want to lose, focus on that.
Yeah.
It goes back to when the people on the outside looking in, they didn't think the Army was a place for people of color, right? So it's twofold. You're creating a stage that the people that said I do, and serve and feel like they don't have nowhere to go, and they have to put their hopes, passion, dreams and goals on hold. If they're, like I said, if they're a musician, I can't do my music until I'm done with my 4-year bid or my 4-year, sentence or my contract to serve. That I want to be able to show you that you can still do that, but at the same time, to show and prove to the world that we can serve our country, yet remain the unique individuals we were created to be. Yeah. And I'm not saying black and brown individuals, unique individuals. So no matter where you come from, what you look like, you still are unique. And we create that to show the world that we can still remain unique and still go after our passions, goals, dreams, and desires while we serve. So that's the most important thing with the Military Fresh Network is, and we use the word fresh on purpose because it's new and improved. Every single day, whether it's 5 years, 6 years, 1 week, 2 weeks, you're always going to have fresh content and a fresh new story that's organic and original, presented and produced by the actual individual. So that's where we are.
Yeah, and let me say too. Here's the thing: I gotta credit you, Jimmy, and the whole MFN team. You guys, the concept makes it so simple for people to relate. And so when you're talking to other people and you're meeting people out in the street, and I mean, I'm in LA, it's easy to hobnob and meet people. And every time I come across somebody who served or somebody who's serving, it's like, hey, have you heard about the Military Fresh Network? Oh, well, what's that? And you tell them, it's like, oh, well, I mean, I don't know. Well, it kind of seems, I don't know what it's about. Just go. Yeah. See what they're doing. Then they go see what you're doing. And it's like, I got it. Then the report, the reports and the communication I get back is, yo, this is dope. Exactly. It's you created that dynamic for people, just made it simple for people to be able to see exactly what it is that you're doing. And it sells itself. You know what I mean? And so I mean, I definitely got to say, it's just giving you flowers, man. Like the whole, it's revolutionary in the way of the presentation of it, because everybody should feel like, in some shape, form, or fashion, they're fresh, and you are fresh, and you could be fresh. And like you said, it also shows that when you become a part of the military, or you join the military or have served, you more than something other than you belong to the government, and I can't be X. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I mean, again, capitalize on a space that not everybody really even remotely touched. So man, kudos, man. It's I said back then it was a holy idea, and I still to this day say it's a holy idea. You know what I mean?
Thank you. So appreciate it.
So talking about the growth of the Military Fresh Network, tell us about all the branches and different businesses that are related to the Military Fresh Network right now.
Okay, so I try to do it in order. So this, I don't know if you can see this, but yeah. So the MFN Consulting Group, the 4-color block, this is who created the Military Fresh Network, the brand, and all of its subsidiaries, right? So this is the umbrella. Everything falls under this. So with under that, you have the Military Fresh Network, which is a media company. So MFN Consulting Group is the marketing arm. It does all the marketing. That's where you guys come in, do the original music. That's when Angel comes in, does all the digital graphics, and the big team and the others. Even shout out to Lensworks. I don't know if you guys seen his work out there, but he's a soldier out there on active duty, ex-drill sergeant, but he does these phenomenal commercials, right? And he's part of the MFN group. So what I try to do is link majority of people that are veterans, that are creatives, to be part of the MFN marketing arm. The Military Fresh Network is the media platform that is a media, digital media. So we could tell your stories on the website. We could do marketing for your veteran-owned business and, all of that. And then from there, we have Military Fresh Fitness, right? Yeah, right there, Military Fresh Fitness. That's where we do all of the fitness. It still falls under the media space, but you kind of segment it to all of the competitors out there that are in the military and veteran space. So the whole fitness conversation, we kind of hone that into the Military Fresh fitness platform. And then we have the MFN Fit Fest. The MFN Fit Fest is the big fitness and entrepreneurial networking event that we have once a year. Of course, once COVID hit, we didn't do it. But the last one we had was in Harlem, New York. It was about 1,000 people out there. And so there's a experiential fitness and not networking event with that. And then from there we have, of course, we have Fresh Flask right here, veteran owned and operated. Fresh Flask, the new 64 ounces right here. Veteran owned and operated, part of the 4-color block. If you notice, it's still true to the 4-color block. Veteran owned and operated. We're gonna eventually get these in Sam and provide these to the military on government contracts, so the military could actually use these for their thermoses out there in the field. We do give those back to firefighters and first responders and deployed military. So you got Fresh Flask, and then you also have MFN athleisure gear, which is the workout, high end. We have the female line right now. The men's line is coming a little later, but we have MFN athleisure, which stands for My Fit Network. It's not a military fresh athleisure, but it's the high end athleisure wear. And so that's kind of everything that falls under the 4-color block and the whole MFN conglomerate.
So again, going back to the original vision, like when you sit back and look at that card, when you sit back and look at that chart of everything that has been built out and there's still more to come, like, do you ever feel like, wow, or is it like a surprise to you, or it's like, this is what it was, I already knew, or you know what I mean? Like,
so that's a good conversation, because when we had that conversation 6 years ago and we went down to the basement, we put it up on the big screen.
Yep.
We weren't talking Fresh Flask, thermos and tumblers. We weren't talking MFN athleisure gear. We weren't talking that. It all evolved. But what I will say is from day one, and that's why I won't say I'm surprised, because I always gave credit to God. This would from the first, green block of the 4-color block. We weren't gonna, even in that first conversation, we weren't even gonna talk about Marines. We weren't even talking about the Air Force and the Navy. We were gonna talk Army, because I was Army, I knew Army. And when all those other services just started, expanding, it's like there's nothing that God can't do, right? So let's talk about this. And that's why I'm not shocked, because I put this all in God, and I just tell God, just continue to lead me, make sure that I continue to do the right things, and guide my footsteps. Guide my footsteps. So to that point, I didn't even think about the other services. Now, mind you, you guys were all I had, right or wrong. Before anybody else, you guys were all I had, right? And Siobhan, right, came in there and she ran the Army Fresh Fitness. It was just Army Fresh Fitness, right?
Yep.
So, you know that billboard that God says, go bigger, go bigger, God, go bigger, God. And he's like, everybody's saying, you do all the other services. So once I did all the service, I'm kind of like talking to God, like, how am I going to run the Air Force? I don't even know all the Navy ranks. How am I run a Navy page? And I don't even know all the Navy ranks, and I don't even have that conversation. The Marines are different, whatever. And then God just started bringing people from them services to help me run all of those pages on a volunteer base. Donnie, you did. Were you in New York? Did you come to New York? I missed New York.
Because I was supposed to go, but I missed it.
But people showed up from all over the world to come to New York, and I'm telling you, that's God. People showed up in the chat group every morning, so that's it. It just lets me know the power of God. You know what I'm saying? And just every day that I just appreciate that God is, and that's the part, because I removed me from it. Right? This don't happen because people are supporting Jimmy Fresh, right? Or Jimmy, like, I'm doing this because of Jimmy. I said this is a God-given vision, and God put this in my heart, and that's why people show up every day, because they remove me, right? I'm just a vessel, right? I'm just a vessel with a vision that he gave, and I give all credit and praises due to the man above. So, and that's as real can get.
Yeah.
But also to say too, like you only as good as what do they say? Crap snowballs downhill, right? And when you following good leadership, the sky's the limit, right? And it's got to be something to be said. To start with you, Jimmy, and then E, and then Siobhan, Baker, myself, and now to see like they have people like Rails and Sonny, over the years, and Brenda, and people just taking expanded roles to just create and format and just really unravel this beautiful, perfect Easter egg of what it is now. Like at no point in time could you do not gravitate. And I know you're not, because you're the most humblest dude I know. I swear you never go over. You never take the time, and I'm trying to get it out of you to see. But there's no point in time do you ever sit back and be like, you like maybe for like 2 minutes and be like, you know what, I did that though. That's what I'm saying. That's me.
You know what, man? I do my best to never. I hate saying right?
Yeah.
I don't never talk to anybody and do an interview without paying dues to my team behind the scenes. Like I am nothing without the support of the people that you don't even know that is doing anything, pushing it forward. Like people don't even know that y'all were around for 21 years and that you two were on the first meeting ever about the Military Fresh Network before anybody ever became a brand ambassador. Sometimes I do see like the recaps of the videos. One time E said, and for those who don't know, E, that's my wife, my beautiful wife. She's there with me, got my back. She helps with the newsletter. She supports, everything. So big ups to her on that.
Yeah.
But one time she said to me, like I had this, I don't know if you remember the backdrop that I had all the logos, the stuff, whatever. She said to me, she was like, damn, all that came from your head. You know what I mean? Like, even when we started, it wasn't all them logos, right? It all fell under the umbrella. It was just like, that was the strategic and smart thing to do, is to put them under that and to break them out. But at the end of the day, man, if my flesh or something says, yeah, that was me, I'm quick to be like, nope, thank you, God. Thank you, God. Continue to guide my footsteps. Because I feel like as soon as I start saying, yeah, that was me, he ain't ordering my footsteps. That's me getting in the way, trying to move my own feet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I do my best, man, to just always remember, because as soon as it could be taken away like that. So just go south. Something happened. You know what I mean?
And to be clear, I did that as a method to try to see if I can get somebody. But like I said, over 21 years, brother, you have never. I don't even know if you know where I comes in the alphabet. Like you don't even use the word I, like the word I or the letter I, or nothing. Like I've never heard. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Except King James, but that's a whole different conversation for a different time. But nonetheless, you know what I'm saying? I was trying to see if I can get somebody, but at the end of the day, I'm saying all that to say, man, you like the flowers that you get is well deserved. You will never put yourself in front of anything to get those flowers, but the flowers are well deserved, brother. Like people follow you because of who you are and how your footsteps are guided. And even before there was Military Fresh, even been taking it back with the Jimmy Cox boxes, you still.
You know, I still got them on ice, right?
You see what I'm saying? Like
I still got them on ice. The domain name ready. It just says coming soon. Just quiet.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It will be done.
They like what? They like what? Jimmy Cox boxes. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, look, you have always been somebody that I've always felt comfortable with being like, I want to be fresh, damn it. You know what I mean? But back in the day before Fresh, it was Fly, because Jimmy was always Fly. Like, this is the flyest brother I know. So
thanks, man.
You know what I mean? That's just that.
Yeah, And then look, they said boxers. She said boxes. It's boxers.
Yeah, boxer.
Yeah.
She said, "I know what you get." What?
Hey, I still got them on ice. If you go to
That's the whole new shit.
jimmycoxboxing.com, it says coming soon. I'm just holding those quiet, bro, until everything takes off, and then I'm just gonna drop them. Because what happened was, I ran into a problem years ago because I didn't have anybody to manufacture clothes. I was in the army. I didn't know where to go. I was going to the clothing garment district down in New York, right? But I could never get anybody to manufacture the clothes. So now I know how to get them, and I know how to manufacture clothes, and I already got a couple companies do it. But I don't want to put too much before I take everything out to the MFN first.
Right.
If the MFN first is there and it's going up, then I'm just going to drop. I'm going to just bring those out and just drop
them. Right. Thanks.
Yeah, that's funny. I see
like that. Hey, take that idea. Let's go ship it to UPS. Be like, we got these Jimmy Cox boxes. I'm telling you, get it ready.
Yeah, man.
It's the gift that keeps giving.
So the question I had, the next one was just around what is the most satisfying part thus far in the journey? And I think you might have answered it, like if you want to expand on it, but you said God is, and I think that is like such a strong statement, like because that in itself is like huge. You know what I mean? Like you are listening and you are like letting them order your steps. And I think another piece of this is like you're humble, but your actions like show what you say. You know what I mean? You don't just put words out there and then don't do it.
Yeah,
like
man.
Anything you say, you do, like to the umpteenth power. Like, you know what I mean? So if you put words out there, it's like you almost show like, here's the words I'm speaking on, and let me show you how to do it in the highest fashion. You know what I mean? And that's always been you as well, and I think that's a big part of it. But I don't know, is there anything else that you would say has been the most satisfying part?
I would say, to be honest, man, the people. The people that God has brought, and even the ones that He brought and removed, I still appreciate them too.
Yeah,
they did do something to push the brand and this thing forward. Even though they left or dropped out for whatever reasons, I'm cool with that. You know, the whole season in a lifetime. Right. But then there's people who, like Sonny's on here. You got Melissa's on here. And we go on and on, because the thing is, we could play this again later, but there's a lot of other people that have traveled, that came to visit, like, you know, friends, connections, not even with me, the connections with other people. Karen, when we took a road trip in a van to go see Karen, when she was, you know, battling the leukemia thing. Like, we didn't have that before the MFN. You know what I mean? And just the people, like, there's somebody there, you know, even to give you some encouraging words. And the people that He has brought, to me, that's priceless.
Yeah,
that's priceless. So that sticks with me the most out of that.
Yeah. And I mean, like, just to see so many people believing in your vision and believing in what you've put out there. Like, how does that make you feel when, just like you said, the community, the family has grown so much? And it's all because, like you said, it's volunteer basis and they just believe in the vision. You know what I mean? Like, how does that make you feel?
You know what it makes me feel like, for real, man? 100% real talk, man. It makes me feel like I still got work to do. You know why? And when I say this is a vision by God, and it pulls me. Like this morning, I got up at 6:30. I was on this computer at 7:00 this morning, working on a media kit, because we're gonna revamp the whole website to really blow it up as a media platform. Yeah. But I feel like when this happens, I still got work to do. You know why? Because when you think of, and it's like that golf shop thing, we ain't there yet. We still got work to do. Like, this is a multi-million-dollar brand. I'm gonna say that is with everything I love. Billion. This is a $1 million, billion-dollar brand, right? And we ain't there yet.
Yeah.
So many people who's been rocking with me for 5 years, 6 years, whatever. I feel like I owe it to them.
Yeah.
We still got work to do. That's why I get up and I come get on this computer, right? And I keep pushing because I don't ever want to let those people who believed in me and the vision that was given in my head by God. I feel like if I just don't continue to work, I let them down.
Right.
Like it goes back to my word is my bond.
Yeah.
I said it 5 years ago, right?
Yep.
And I said I was gonna do something. So I'm either gonna do it or die trying,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And that's what means the most to me from this whole thing, that I still got work to do because I owe it to those who believe.
You know, it's funny that you say that because immediately I start to think, it gives me thought processes of what would Jobs do, what would Zuckerberg do, and what would it be like just sitting back and say that I came up under Zuckerberg when Facebook was just starting, or up under Jobs when Apple was first starting. And it's, to me, at the end of the day, it's just like at the end of Military Fresh Network, it's like seeing it from its infancy, from its inception to where it is now, and it's like, what, this thing, next thing you know, is the cornerstone of all social media. You know what I mean? Like, and the growth and the exponential growth in a short amount of time. The belief, the structure, the platform, the way you lay it out for people, it's kind of like by the people for the people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's more solid of the Emancipation Proclamation, the Declaration of Independence, than the actual Declaration of Independence. You know what I mean? Like, you literally provided something for people that didn't have a voice to give them a voice. And it's like, it's so simple. And it almost makes you think, like, why wasn't it done beforehand? But now that you've commanded that ship, it's amazing. Like, it just, to me, again, it's just, it's a blessing to see, man. It really is. It's a blessing to see.
Appreciate it. So to that point, man, I wanna tap on that for a minute. So I always go back, and the thing is, I want to get out there more, man, and really tell this story because, like, there's two things. So I always go back to the Players Tribune, right?
Mm-hmm.
And y'all remember this,
Of course.
where Derek Jeter created the Players Tribune, and it's the same type of concept, but it tells the stories and gives a platform to get to know the person behind the sports uniform. Like, who is LeBron James when he's not in uniform playing, basketball? What does he like to do? The things that he does with his family or whatever. And those become the heroes, right? Because people look up to them and they're role models, but they're already making millions of dollars. People are already wearing their jerseys. But what about the people that serve and sacrifice and never have a platform to tell their story when they're away from their family and they have to pay sometimes the ultimate sacrifice, to serve their country? Right. So it's twofold, not just comparison to the Players Tribune, but then it also debunks those myths of what the hell you doing serving in the military, fighting for a government that doesn't necessarily support you. I'm here to debunk all that and show them different. You know what I mean? And let people know that we do serve and we can, but at the same time, also bridge the gap between those platforms and those veteran platforms that you don't see a lot of Black and brown people on those veteran spaces. So it's three-pronged approach that what we're doing and what problem we're solving on the Military Fresh Network. And of course, we use the word fresh because it's new and approved. It's a brand new day, but it's also of the culture, right? Because when people first think fresh, they see a person that has an urban, tattoos, whatever, and they're like, okay, fresh, he's hip hop, and some people think it was like old school. Like, why are you using fresh? They don't say fresh anymore, but fresh is always new, right? So I'm here to change your thought and your mindset, right? And that's what the whole thing is about. And that's why I need more. I need to get this message out more, man. So I appreciate y'all for even asking these questions to record it so we could push play later and let people hear this, because it's important.
And again, I'm sorry, Baker, because I know we
good.
like being behind the scenes and understanding, the what's the word I'm looking for? Archives of video and footage and so forth and so on. There's a taxi cab ride through New York that I'm telling you needs to be like 10 years from now, the quintessential doctrine to what the MFN is, because it talks about you. It talks about how MFN started. It talks about the growth. It talks about what you intend to do, and everything that you have done and talked about you wanted to do has been done up to a point.
Do you have that? Do you have that clip?
I don't have it queued up, but I have it.
Yeah,
we gonna bring you back, and when I bring you back, that we're gonna have that cue ready to go. We do, however, Baker, if it's okay with you, have a video that is the accumulation of 5 years of what the Military Fresh has done over that span of time. If we got time, I'd like to play that. If you two would go with it.
I'm with it. Please do. We talked about it. I think, those who know, those who don't, like, I think it's only right we give this kind of peek into what has been thus far.
All right. Everybody stay tuned. Check this out. Military Fresh 5-year anniversary. Check it out.
'87, back in the b-boy days, I was always a b-boy. I always wore my Yankee fitted. I guess this is a snapback. It's not a fitty, but back in the day, '87, when it was like FRESH, fresh, so fresh. I never lost sight of who I was as a person. Like, the things that I liked, I still did it. So the whole moral of the story is that you can still do what you like and what you love, even though that you serve your country.
So I'm living every minute just as if it were my last. Cause life without limits gets you on the winning path. And I'm diving in the pool full of liquor, let it splash. Hella cool in the pictures, let them flash. In the past, had to hash through the troubles we was given. Now we breaking ground with success, cut the ribbon. And fuck if they don't listen if you living out your dream. And then it's even sweeter if you get it with your team. Your outfit's clean, build steam on your path. Had a few zeros to the check, do the math. You the stress in your past as a type of preparation. We just took the fears and we learned to embrace them. And everything you wins, let it live in your statements. And you ain't got a doctor of the truth, be patient. Cause everything you waiting for is surely gonna be. So appreciate the views, and you'll see that I'm
I'll keep fighting till the end. Got so far, I knew that I'd be standing here to send a message loud and clear that you're free if you wanna be. You write your destiny. You're good in time. You'll see.
James Brown from the NFL Today on CBS and inside the NFL on Showtime. I just wanted to participate, since we're in New York with the full week of work, to say I am thrilled that all of the folks who are associated with the 5th anniversary of the Military Fresh Network, of course you know that's Master Sergeant Jimmy Cox and Sergeant First Class Erica Cox. Thank you all for being there, and to all of the supporters of the military community. Certainly that touches my heart. I commend my friends, the Coxes, and hope you guys have an outstanding time. Congratulations, God bless, and continued success.
That you still might oppose, but I still spit it bold up until my time flows. I rose from the bottom with a shot and I squoze. So let's go.
I'll keep fighting till the end. Got so far, I knew that I'd be standing here to send a message loud and clear that you're free if you wanna be. You write your destiny. You're good in time. You'll see.
To the
Planet, Charlemagne the God. I would like to wish the Military Fresh Network a happy 5-year anniversary. And I want to say salute and give a huge congratulations on the launch of their new veteran-owned and operated thermos and tumbler company, Fresh Flak. Check them out on freshflak.com today. Send me a goddamn Fresh Flak, okay? I can always use me a new thermos. All right, or tumbler. So send me that over, okay?
What up? It's DJ Envy. I got to give a special shout out to the freshest military network out there. I want to wish them a happy 5th year anniversary to the Military Fresh Network. Be sure to tune in and check out what they're doing. You guys stay fresh and stay blessed. Salute.
Up until my time blows, I rose from the bottom with a shot and I swole. So let's go.
I'll keep fighting till the end. Got so far, I knew that I'd be standing here to send a message loud and clear that you're free if you wanna be. You write your destiny. You're good in time. You'll see.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This is Doug E. Fresh, coming at you live and direct with nothing but much love and respect. And speaking of respect, happy 5th year anniversary. Come on, to the freshest military that's very extraordinary and legendary network. This one goes out to the freshest military network. You can serve your country and still remain fresh. You know why? Because you gotta be fresh to rock with Fresh. D-O-U-G-I-E Fresh. If you don't know, now you know.
Up until my time blows, I rose from the bottom with a shot and I swole. So let's go.
I'll keep fighting till the end. Got so far, I knew that I'd be standing here to send a message loud and clear that you're free if you wanna be. You write your destiny. You're good in time. You'll see. Everybody's wanting things that they don't have, but you must appreciate the things you do. 'Cause you control your happiness. Life will always put that to the test. Look, you made it this far. Got the spirit of a fighter, so you don't care what the people say. You're good. You're right here.
Hey, I'm good with the fact that I ain't make it overnight. Good with my life, center stage and the lights. And I'm good with the flight, plus those who attended. Those with advice, it don't matter the intentions. 'Cause I'm hitting every inning like I'm aiming for the fence. I'm good with the fact that they probably ain't convinced, but that pinch ain't about to take me away from my dream. I'm good with the hate, I just take it as a steam. And we sing.
I'll keep fighting till the end. Got so far, I knew that I'd be standing here to send a message loud and clear that you're free if you wanna be. You write your destiny. You're good in time. You'll see. I'm good.
Some people said I should be like a youth mentor, things like that, but I feel in my heart that I was good at leading soldiers and mentoring soldiers. And I feel in my heart by God, because God placed this into my life, because they say, find out what you're good at and do that. And I'll always remain fresh. Army Fresh.
And you always remain fresh. I'm gonna tell you, I gotta say this. The thing that gravitated to me the most, that's where it almost choked me up in here. Y'all got MFN kids.
Yeah.
It's kids that's like, you know, when you first started this thing, they were kids, and now they full on like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, wow, like, okay, I remember, you know, Jackson, so I remember Z when he was, you know what I mean? And I had to put him in the video. Yeah. You know, the song, that's Baker's song, or the 1111, I'm good. Like, these are things that was.
So I want to touch on that. Like, a lot of people don't know, and I want to make sure this for the record. Like, that song that you heard on that video is right here. That's him rapping, and that's his words. That's his song. Produced the whole video. These two right here. So when I say the MFN production team, you're looking at them. So I don't even think Sonny knew that was you, Devin. That's actually rapping on that song. Did y'all know that? Did y'all know that? Did y'all know that's him rapping that song? That's him.
Yeah.
I didn't even know. Yeah, and who made that beat?
I forgot the producer name now.
Hey, there you go. But all of that, the video, the editing, everything. So yeah, man. So that also lets me know too, man. I got work to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is definitely an amazing video. And like Donnie said, having the kids in there, I think it goes back to the beginning of our conversation around changing the narrative, right? Like nobody's walking up to Jackson and being like, "Oh, black men shouldn't be in the military." He'd be like, "What are you talking about?" Like as he gets to be older, like, what are you talking about? Like that won't even land on him because of, you know what I mean, this exposure and being around it and seeing it and opening up kind of a different lens to it. So that's dope. I want to segue a little bit, kind of talk about something that you talk about a lot, and I really think has a lot of meaning behind it. Tell us more about the meaning of full circle.
All right, Sonny, you heard that? Full circle. So
full circle.
And that right there, right? So full circle. All right. And a lot of people, when they first hear full circle, they think like, coming back to where you started, right? But full circle is number one, the circle is you, right? Meaning for you as a person to do everything in your power to be well-rounded, right? So I always go like that circle there to be well-rounded. So I look at that circle there. So if I only focus on this one part of the circle, say for instance I'm a gym buff, right? And all I do is go to the gym. I don't read a book. My family's falling by the wayside. I don't thank God. I don't, you know what I mean? There's so much more to you as a person, and it just can, if you continue to be well-rounded, like a circle, and in order to motivate and continue to roll, if I take a chunk out of that and I'm not fulfilling that chunk, I'm not going to be able to move forward because there's a big gap and it's going to stop. So you have to be well-rounded in order to continue to progress and be, to roll on through life. Right. So that's the first part of it. That's you as a person. Now you put yourself in the middle of that. Now that's the people that are around you. Right? The days of, someone saying, "Hey, I got your back." Right? I need someone to have me all the way around. I need you to look at my left, my right, cover me down on the things that I'm weak at. You know what I mean? Not just so if you got the wrong people around you, that could also take a chunk out of you and not cause you to continue to move forward and progress. So that's what full circle means to me. All the way around you as a person and those all the way around you.
Yeah.
That part.
Yeah. No, that lands super heavy for me. Like, especially just thinking about, again, going back to the side of it where we're like family and, your big bro, absolutely. But like, I think about early times and like the link and that whole creation of that. And I think it was full circle then too. And I think it's like you always taught it in a way, and though the words weren't there, you always had that message. Yeah. And I think I've learned so much just from being around you. And like I always tell like my mom about this, and she's on now. And I tell other people, I'm like, Jimmy is one of those people who taught me how to be like a better version of myself. Right? Yeah, man. Like how to work on me and how to continue building that circle and making sure you're refining that circle and making sure that it's, like you said, well-rounded, because you have to keep at it. It's not something where you can just say, "Okay, here's my circle, boom, I'm done with it." Like you're continuously going at it, continuously having to work on it. So I'm glad you said that, man, and I really appreciate that. It means a lot. But even with me,
it's continuous work. I still got work to do. I have not arrived. There's no destination where I am there. Even though I appreciate it, you said you learned from me, but hell, I'm still learning from me. I'm still learning and correcting some things that I need improvement on. Like and that's what when I look at this, like everything I said about being a good husband, father, gym, health, read a book, you know what I mean? Feed your mind. I continue to push so that I can continue to keep moving and progressing. The moment that I stop, I become stagnant and I'm not, I'm not moving anymore. So I always have to work and like that, nobody's perfect. And I make a lot of mistakes and I try my best to learn from those mistakes, and just, and hell, I learned from y'all. You know what I mean? I'm older, I'm big bro, but I learned from y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, that's what it's supposed to be. If you can't recognize your own like flaws and know like, okay, I need to work on this because right now it's not my best me. It's like you think of a tire with a nail in it. If you don't ever go look for that nail, eventually your tire is going to go flat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to look for it and say, okay, you know what? This is a flaw. I need to patch it up or get a new tire, or you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, man. Like I tell people my criteria for like friends and people that I really bring in became really like, I don't know. It's hard for people for me to say like you're my friend because I feel like my friends are my family.
Yeah.
Right? I came a lot from our circle of people. Like in that initial, like it's just is what it is. If you can't have me all the way around, like the people that I have here, then I mean, we can be associates, well, whatever you want to call it, but you probably won't be in that circle. You know what I mean?
Man.
You got to live up to some pretty high standards, and just
man.
Yeah. So
and I must say, man, y'all brothers been with me, and Melissa and those people on y'all been with me through 2 marriages, right?
Yep.
And a 2 more kids. Some other kids just popped in the scene. Like y'all were there for all of that. You know what I mean? So that's respect to y'all, man. Y'all been around me for 21 years, man. Yeah. So I appreciate it, man. And I love y'all, man, for real.
I got to say 2 things on this. The first thing I got to say is, and this is how I know it's real. Baker said a principle that I learned from the time with both of you brothers that I teach my kids. This is the core foundation. This is the relationship I absolutely 100% have built with my kids, is that I want you to be the best version of yourselves. Everything that I say, everything that I do is for you to be the best version of yourself. So I'm going to listen to you and give you an opinion and no bias, even as a parent, because, we're dads. I'm a girl dad. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know what I mean? Like sometimes, as a dad, you're like, especially when you got girls. But it's like, I'm going to trust you because I'm doing it for you. I want you to be the best version of yourself. I'm going to get off my bias for you to be the best person that you are. And so I learned that from both of you guys. You know what I mean? The second thing I'm going to say is this. And it's more of a form of a question, Jimmy. And I'm sorry if this was not put on there. This might put you on a spot. But I'm going to ask you, because Baker brought up the sacred link. What's your most memorable moment? And I think I know what mine is, and it's as humiliating as it is for me. That's it's mine. But what is your most memorable moment with the link?
And so let's break down what the link is, right? So like for those who don't know, like the link, that was way before Full Circle, way before MFN. The link was exactly what it sounds like. It's a link, like you're as strong as your weakest link. And it was a few of us brothers, family members, like we're all still connected to this day. Law, some of them met Law at the New York City event. He filmed there, but the link. And that's what it was like. Hey, so the thing was, the link was, we were all like creatives, right? You guys were creative. Law's a filmmaker, still grinding to this day. You guys, producers, musicians, and I was creative, but I was I was I was into the spiritual thing, like the whole poetry, King James thing, whatever.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where the link came from. It was a group of creatives that just came from friends. So I think one of the most memorable times, was it 2006 New Year's?
2006.
was it 2005 or 6 New Year's?
2005 going into 2006.
I think 2005 or New Year's. I think there's two folds to that. I think that's when y'all first. I was on to the spiritual thing because King James even was way before Jimmy Fresh.
Right.
King James was, the spoken word spiritual poet, right? That was back in the day. But you knew, and I was even doing Arts of God with Law. Remember Arts of God, right? So it's twofold. It was ice cold outside, and we went to the bookstore to warm up. Remember? And I was putting E's feet under my armpits. Right? I was putting my feet under E's feet under my armpits. And I think she kept saying something about Jesus or something. Oh, and she kept saying something.
Hallelujah.
Hey,
Hallelujah.
oh yeah, she kept saying hallelujah or something. She kept saying hallelujah.
That's my fault.
Yeah, she kept saying hallelujah. And I told her, don't play with God. Like, don't play with God, right? Whatever. But yeah, that was funny. But the most memorable, that whole night.
Yeah.
Donnie, you already know what I really remember. I still got the photo to prove it, but I want to talk about it. Hey, I got the photo to prove it. Hey, you fell asleep.
And that's why I said it's the most humiliating thing ever. But hey,
I got you. Hey, I won't share that with the world, man, but I still got the photo.
I appreciate it, but that's my day too. You know what I mean? Because again, it's I will never forget that. I will never forget that. And even the year beforehand, like, you know what I mean? It's both of those years in tandem. It's that time spent with you guys, and literally it was just like, you know what, and we made a pact to each other to always keep pushing, always keep persevering, always big up each other. And then for school and all these years later, we still here. You know what I mean? And it means a lot to me because this is how I pick and choose my friends to this day. You know, no, Sonny, no.
It is blackmail worthy.
It is blackmail worthy, and we're not going. No, Sonny. Okay?
Hey, listen,
it's all love, Sonny, but no.
I want to throw this out there too about that night, because definitely a great memory. But even then, Jimmy, like, I think thinking about, like I said, learning lessons, like the way you took care of Eve that night was a lesson for me, right?
Yeah.
I joked about it, but it was like, I was in between relationships then. I ain't had no steady relationship. But just to see you like care for her, she's like, my feet are cold, and like I'm like, he put his feet under his arms and like making like that level of care and like just intentional care about your woman, your lady. Like, I took that, right? Because I didn't have them I didn't have that in my circle at that time.
Yeah.
It would have been like, let's get some tea or some hot chocolate or something. But
that
level to be like, look, this is what it is. Like, I'm gonna take care of you. I got you.
I learned that in the Army.
Yeah,
hey, that's one thing I learned in the Army. Hey, to all my soldiers on here, hey, you already know when you got frostbitten feet and you're ice cold, you take them out off the shoes, put the socks, put them underneath your armpits. One of the warmest place, either there or your groin, the hottest place in your body that instantly warms you up, right? So that's what I had to do.
It was still amazing to see. Because that's just like, that's how you supposed to do it.
They was fresh then too. They was matching furred up, matte fresh. I was like, oh look, I'm gonna get there. Like, I just remember being like, I'm gonna get there. You know what I mean? And I feel good about being well on my way right now. Yeah. I take my wife's feet out and warm them up if I need to.
There you go, man. Hey, I love it. I love it.
All right, so I'm gonna say a couple words, and I just want you to tell me what comes to mind when I say these words.
Okay.
All right. The first word is leadership.
Leadership, commitment.
Family.
Commitment. Again. All right. Got an A.
Happiness.
You know what? Damn. I got 22 seconds to say it. happiness.
not on this one. This one you can expand if you want to talk about it more. It
Oh,
don't have to be one
okay.
word.
So happiness is appreciation. Like, don't overlook. A lot of people are happy and overlook it, right? And a lot of people's happiness comes from the weather. Beautiful sunny day.
Yeah.
They're happy, they feel good, the weather's nice, it's warm, but they overlook it real quick. They don't take time to reflect and appreciate it.
Yeah.
Right? And when you're happy, right? So to this point, when you ever notice when we're sad, we dwell in it. Mm-hmm. We just sit there and just gloat for hours while we're sad. Mm-hmm. But when we're happy, we like laugh, ha ha ha, and we just go on about our business. Mm. And so you need to appreciate your happiness just as much as you dread your sorrows.
Right.
That right there. Like let that sink in. Think about it. When you're sad, you sit in it. And that's normal for most people, right? You sit in it and think about it. But when you're happy, you can just let it fly by. Whew. Yeah. So that kind of goes to my next one. My next word is balance.
Balance, that's well-rounded. Balance is that whole full circle thing is balance.
Yeah.
You got to. Because your kids is over here somewhere. Yeah. And if I'm always over here, Daddy, you're always on the computer. Like, can you at least play catch with me over here? You know what I'm saying? So you gotta do your best to try to make time for all.
Success.
Failure.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That part.
You talked about this one a lot, but I'm gonna still throw it out there. Fresh.
Tomorrow.
I say Jimmy.
Yeah. Fresh is tomorrow. Like, tomorrow's not promised. We hope and pray to see tomorrow. And tomorrow, I heard this today. Tomorrow we'll have, if we're blessed to see another day tomorrow, we're all gonna have another chance, and a choice. So that's what fresh means to me. Like, if you see another tomorrow, it's your chance to make the right choices to change your life.
All right, I got two more. Fatherhood,
motherhood. Fatherhood, the mother. Mm-hmm. First thing in my mind, like, I can't do it alone. Like, the mother is a big piece of that.
Last one is New York.
New York, first thing that comes to me, freaking Italian sausage on the cart. Food. Yeah. Food.
I love it. Did you see the verses? I got to throw this out there while we on.
Yes.
Did you see it?
The locks?
That was so New York. Listen.
Yeah, I loved it, yo.
I'm not from New York, but it's moments that I'd be like, man, I know anybody from New York right now. It's just like, this is it.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
I seen the meme out there where somebody had on a pair of Air Force Ones Uptowns on top of a pair of Timbs. Like, they both of them. Like, they wore both of them. Yeah.
All right, so we got two more things that are kind of just a little more of getting to know you. The next one is we always ask our guests, what's one not so popular opinion that you have? Now, this can be as easy as being like a hot dog is a sandwich.
Yeah.
Or, it can be as political or deep as you want it to be. But what's one not so popular opinion that you have?
I would say, I was gonna go even deeper, but I'll just keep it more broad. That watching TV is a waste of time. Some people will argue me like, man, you crazy. Like, it's a waste of time. And I can get even, so TV is TV. No, I don't care what you're watching. If you sit there for an hour and a half, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, and you watching, replays of the ID channel.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? or even sitting. How long is a football? I don't like, sports.
3 hours generally.
Just find out who won tomorrow on the news. Like, you got to watch every. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got time for that, man. I got shit to do. You know what I'm saying?
I will say it now.
Watch the last part. Right? Yeah.
That sports one. Yep. Not in my circle. I definitely sit down and watch.
That's controversial. They're like, man, you crazy. Like,
That's
I ain't got time for that.
That's a good
Man.
one, though.
I ain't got time for it.
That is a very good one.
That is a good one. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to run you through the ringer of Two Flu Top 22. So what happens right now is there's going to be a 2-minute timer.
Okay.
And the tagline is, what are your top 2 blank?
Oh, man.
I'm just going to say 11 different things, and you got to tell me what your top 2 of that things are. All right. All right. So here we go. What are your top 2 restaurants?
Ooh. Ruth Chris is one, and I like there's a new one. Ocean's Prime.
Okay. Funny movies.
Life is one. Funny.
I follow Life.
I don't watch TV, man. Like, funny movie. Life was good. Yo, I'm gonna get you, sucker.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay. Sneaker brands.
Sneaker brand, Nike and Adidas.
Amusement park.
Six Flags, Busch Gardens.
Holidays.
My birthday and my anniversary.
Cereals.
Cereal, Captain Crunch, Frosted Flakes.
Okay. Vacation destination.
Barbados, Jamaica.
Board games.
None. And Monopoly and Monopoly. That's Monopoly. What's that one? Clue. We gotta find the clues.
Okay.
Yeah.
Clue. Ways to relax.
Swim in the pool. Chill out with some chill music in the backyard.
Yes. Things to pack when you travel.
Clippers. And my chargers for all my cell phone devices.
And movie quotes.
I don't know which one it was, but it was like "Be Like Water," my friends. Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
Bruce Lee was one, and I'm trying to think of one off of Beat Street when Lee off of Beat Street was breaking in the battle.
5 seconds.
I don't know what he said. He said something. We're gonna win. We're gonna win.
We gonna win. I'll take it.
Yeah.
He said it somewhere in the movie. I promise.
I know it's in there.
Dope. Cool. Well, you made it through Two Flu Top 22. You got your 22 top answers out in 2 minutes or less.
Yeah, that was dope. I like that.
Nice work. All right, so man, we come to the end of this talk. Like, what we always ask next is like, what's next for Jimmy Cox? Like, what is on your radar? What's next? Whether it's MFN or just for you, what's next?
Revamping the entire Military Fresh Network website to be a true media platform where we can monetize it, right? And help other brands and businesses out there, veteran-owned and operated businesses, where we can create for them and market to them on our extensive network now. So that's number 2, and then get fresh flasks in stores.
Nice. And then the last question is always, where can people find you online?
Anywhere on the Military Fresh Network platforms. But if you want to send an email, you could send an email to info@militaryfreshnetwork.com. But if you Google Military Fresh Network, you'll find me.
Cool. Well, look, man, like I appreciate you coming on. I'm happy we like got to sit down and have this chat. Like we've talked plenty of times through the years, but it's always good to just catch up and talk about stuff. I learned stuff today that, like, like I said, being around each other, we learn from each other, and I think that's amazing. Outstanding human being, man. Like you
Thank
just
you. I appreciate it. You too. Both of you guys. I love y'all, man.
I I tell Law, like, if Law hadn't started bringing me to Sunday dinner and, like, just that whole interaction and learning and growing through the years, like, I don't know what my path would have turned out to be. You know what I mean? I think about that one invitation that changed the trajectory in a lot of ways, right? And it has a lot to do with you, like sitting us down, having conversations about how to maneuver, how you do things. Again, leading with your actions and not just putting out empty words.
Thanks, man.
And I appreciate you so much. I love you. Much respect. Thank you for being on. Definitely want to give you a chance to say any last words, and Donnie will take us out.
All right, cool. I just want to say thank you, man. I'm just, grateful for the discussion. It's just a conversation amongst friends. It doesn't even feel like an interview. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that I appreciate it. I really do. I appreciate both of you.
Well, thank you, man. And so I got to say, much can be said about who I am as a person, right? Much, you guys have known me for the longest out of most people that I know. I'm not always the most easy to deal with, and that's the realization I've come to realize about myself. But the one thing I can say is that if I had, I got a brother, a blood brother. That's my brother Brian. Love him to death. But if I had other brothers that I look up to that were like older brothers, you, Jimmy, Baker, Law, you guys are my guys, man. Like I watch y'all. I watched y'all over the years to grow and to be glorious, man. Man, that this really made me want to be better for myself and before everybody that comes behind me. You know what I'm saying? So I give you your flowers, man. Yeah, especially Jimmy. Like again, from the time you first allowed me into your home because Baker was there first. Baker was like, you need to meet this dude, Jimmy. He's dope. You know what I mean? And then we came down to the house. Used to have the Sunday dinners, man, and the rest is history. And I ain't seen nothing like that.
Appreciate
you know what I mean? And I think that and I mean the years follow, the 20-something years follow. I still ain't seen nothing like that. Mm-hmm. And that speaks to you. You know what I mean? And to see the work that you do, to work how hard you go at everything that you attack everything. Can't be said for everybody. Cannot be said. So it taught me to be tenacious. It taught me to be, the hustle is real. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I learned from you. And so to say all that to say is that, everything that you do does not go unnoticed. You got a team, you got family, you got friends, you got brothers that follow behind that, man. And just make sure you understand that, like, we watching, but we supporting. And I think that's the huge difference because people ain't just standing around watching Jordan work. You got a whole team of Scotties behind you too, man. You know what I mean? And you created that. So it's all love. It's all respect. It's beautiful, man. And, and that's my piece on it, man. I love the Fresh Network. Everybody, the whole team, I haven't been on in a long time, and that's on me. I'll take that. But the team is still the team. I'll see y'all soon for sure.
Yes.
But nonetheless, it's glorious. Please like, subscribe, follow, support the Military Fresh Network, and every branch of the network, every branch of the service, every branch of those who support MFN and the umbrella beneath it, or the umbrella and everything under it. Make sure you like and subscribe. Follow Jimmy Fresh at on Instagram. Follow Two Flew West, man. Like and subscribe to Flew West, man. Make sure y'all like and support. We in the process in the business of giving people their flowers, man, and bringing light to the world as well.
Yes.
And that's all I really have to say about it. At the end of the day, everybody stay safe, stay stay blessed, and stay fresh.
There you go. Stay fresh, stay blessed. That's how we do it. Yeah, there we go.
Make America fresh again. That was true a couple of years ago, and it's still true now. At the end of the day, we're gonna let the planes fly. Donnie B.GotDaBeats, Two Flew West, Nicholas Baker, Jimmy Cox. These are all bros. We out.
Peace. Thanks.